Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are so.
From Oakland, California, it's time for Braves baseball. We move across the bay. No, we're not playing the Giants. We're playing the Oakland Athletics as the Braves venture back into interleague play tonight as we start a three-game set here at the Oakland Coliseum. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. Partner, it's been a long time since the Braves have been here in Oakland to take the A's. Does the ballpark look the same as you remember it?
No, it's changed a lot, especially with that big concrete monolith in center field. But you know what? This ballpark is 51 years old now. Braves are on their third stadium in Atlanta in the last 51 years.
Well, this is a great place to pitch. A lot of foul ground here. And a couple of familiar faces for baseball fans are squaring off tonight. Let's start with Mike Fultonevich, who gets the ball for the Braves. He's on a nice roll.
Yeah, he bounced back from a horrible start to pitch real well his last outing at home. And he's been a little better at home than he has been on the road. But Mike's dynamic. The one thing I think we need to keep an eye on tonight is the extra couple of days rest. Will he be a little too amped up? Sonny Gray, on the other hand, former first-round pick out of Vandy, also very dynamic and also on the radar of a lot of ball clubs right now as the trading deadline nears. He's had a couple of hiccups along the way this year because he wasn't 100% healthy, but he seems to be back on the beam, especially when you look at the line from his last start against the White Sox. You look at their interleague numbers, good numbers for Mike, not so much for Sonny Gray in terms of the record. He's 4-5 lifetime.
And 4-5 is the exact record the Braves have so far in interleague play. They'll have a challenge on their hands with Sonny Gray. They also won't have Matt Adams at first base. That foot's still very sore for him. Hopefully, he'll be able to pinch hit or play later on in this three-game set. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in the East Bay. It's the Braves, it's the A's. Game one coming up right after the break.
Is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less.
Welcome back, everybody. Paul Bird. I'm standing here in Oakland Coliseum, right in front of the black hole. That's right, the Raiders' right end zone. Very unique field, a lot of foul territory. We got the live ball era, so that's good for pitchers. Maybe we can get it out. And how about this dugout with absolutely no rails? Chip and Joe, we got to be ready over here. I got a glove, I got my game cap ready to go. Chip and Joe, back to you.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. This is one of the most unique baseball stadiums in the major leagues. It is an old-fashioned stadium, as you mentioned. It's 50 years old, but a ton of foul ground, which makes it one of the great pitching parks in the American League, if not all of Major League Baseball. Something Mike Fultonevich and Sonny Gray, Joe, hope to take advantage of in Game 1 tonight.
Well, as we told you, it's been a while since the Braves have been here. 14 years. Sonny Gray was all of 13 years old the last time the Braves played here back in 2003, and the Braves winning pitcher that day, Shane Reynolds. Yeah, that's Shane Reynolds. Sonny Gray, 27 years old, 5'10", 190, out of Smyrna, Tennessee. And Vanderbilt, a first-round pick. His first 3 home starts, darn good. His last 3, not so good. But his last start, we showed you that line against the White Sox. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And he's striking out better than 1 guy per inning pitched this year. He's only given up 7 home runs, and 6 of those have been solo shots. 90 to 94 with a cut fastball, curveball, slider change.
Hopefully Atlanta will rediscover the offensive touch. So far, the first 3 games down in San Diego, Atlanta scored a grand total of 7 runs. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Padres. Hopefully Ender Inciarte can get things started atop the Braves' Toyota starting 9. Standard lineup for Atlanta with the exception of first base. Still no Matt Adams. Fouled a ball off his foot. Maybe he'll be able to pinch hit. We'll wait and see. And with the DH in use, it's Matt Kemp's turn to just swing the bat tonight. Danny Santana takes over for him in left field for Game 1. It is a perfect night for baseball. There is a chill in the air, not a cloud in the sky. There is a breeze blowing, it looks like, toward the right field corner here at the Oakland Coliseum. And as you see, the shadows still making their way across the outfield on a 66-degree night. Winds out of the west at 18 miles per hour. So there you have it. Sonny Gray for Oakland, Ender Inciarte for Atlanta. Ender riding an 11-game hitting streak, set to get things started tonight. And Gray's first pitch is off the plate, ball 1.
Watches.com, first pitch, 7:07.
Ender at 308 for the year, 6 homers, 31 driven in. Gray coming off a win last time out against the White Sox. 1 earned run in 7 innings. Struck out 7. And at the knees, a sinking strike at 93 miles an hour.
Sonny Gray was an all-star in 2015, 14-game winner. Then last year things went south on him. Went 5-11 with an ERA of 5.6.
Hit it to the right side of the infield if you can. Brett Lowry trying to shield his eyes at second with the sunshine and shadows creeping out toward him. One ball, 2 strikes for Ender Inciarte, leading off the first for Atlanta. And that missed low and in. 2-2.
Braves are 4-5 in interleague play. The A's are 2-5.
And a swing and a miss. Inciarte's down on strikes. And that'll bring up Brandon Phillips.
Got Ender out on his front foot, and his weight shifted forward on a couple of pitches. Took a little off there on that one. Nice changeup.
Yeah, Gray will strike out a few guys. He's averaging over a strikeout per inning pitched this year. A year that started slowly for him. He began the year on the 10-day disabled list with some shoulder issues. Now Brandon Phillips, the batter, the Braves second baseman, at .295 for the year. And another strike.
Gray is 5'10", 190. Very solid.
And ricochets off the screen above the Braves dugout. And Phillips quickly behind, 0-2. A handful of Braves have seen Sonny Gray before. Phillips is one of them. He's 1 for 3 in his career. And now the 0-2 pitch is wasted high.
Very slow, deliberate step back, slow leg kick, and then an explosion to the plate. He's got a couple of different breaking balls. One that has some pretty good tilt on it that goes down. Another one, his slider is more of a sweeper. He'll start that at the outer third of the plate and have it sweep off the plate and try to get Brandon to swing at it, or any other right-hander.
Popped up center of the diamond. Who wants it? It'll be Jed Lowry, the second baseman. Phillips pops out. 2 up, 2 down for Nick Markakis.
Now, you mentioned the quiet bats in San Diego. A lot of that had to do with Dinelson Lamet last night and Louis Perdomo 2 nights ago.
Nick Markakis.
But only 4 runs on 11 hits total in those 2 games. And all 4 of the runs came in 1 inning.
Nick Markakis has the second highest total of hits in interleague play. Among active players, Ichiro Suzuki #1, Nick Markakis #2 with 253 of them. Nick 10th in the league, National League that is, in hits with 87 of them, and batting .293 for the year. And that missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Does this hitting background pose any difficulties, Joe? I mean, we've got the shadows and the sunshine. You've got the camera bay to the left. You've got the Holy Toledo sign on the right. Looks like a garage door, and all the different levels and colors of green out there. Does that affect you in any way?
It might be until the sun goes down, until that shadow creeps across there. But at least it's all one color.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And at the knees, Markakis knew it. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. Mike Fultonevich will try to hold serve next. The first inning. Let's see if Mike Foltynewicz can answer. Mike is seeking his 6th win in 2017.
Well, these numbers are what we're going to talk about a lot. He has the highest difference between left-handed average and right-handed average of any starting pitcher in the major leagues, 105 points. So from there, let's go to his 4 keys for pitching success tonight. Number 1, left-handed hitters again. Left-handed hitters recently are 17 for 34 against him, a 500 average. And the extra rest, we touched on that also. He'll be fired up and hopefully not overthrowing with those extra day or 2 of rest.
And the A's have 4 left-handed bats, 1 switch hitter, and they're starting 9 tonight. And one of the familiar faces is the man that leads off. It's Matt Joyce, who last year played with the Pirates. And Mike's first of the day is off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Joyce at .230, 10 homers, 31 knocked in. He's walked 34 times, leading to a .331 on base. And if you're familiar with the Moneyball book and movie, on base percentage is a very important statistical element of this Oakland Athletics organization. Blazing fastball right there, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like the way he's already started, and that's establishing the fastball. I hope he stays with it.
Braves have a shift on. Camargo is in shallow right field as that one bounces away from Tyler Flowers. And the count's now even at 2-2.
Tyler's got enough dings to worry about. He doesn't need any more.
A couple nights ago in San Diego, that forearm was nasty looking. The pitch way outside. And it's a full count. See, he's got that left forearm heavily taped on his glove hand. The pitch is cut on and missed. Joyce is down swinging. And that's something the A's have been doing a lot. This month they're averaging 10 strikeouts a game as an offense. And Mike off to a good start. 1 up, 1 down.
They hit a lot of homers and they strike out a lot.
Let's hope the latter is more prevalent than the first.
Yeah, their batting average is 27th out of 30 teams in the majors. Their home runs are 8th in the majors.
This is Matt Olson. What a thrill this has to be for this young man, the pride of Parkview High School and a #1 compensation round draft pick by the A's. Matt hitting .167 with 3 homers. Saw him and Dansby Swanson chatting before the game. 2 Atlanta kids meeting in Oakland of all places in the major leagues.
Well, he hasn't been up long. He's 6 for 36 since he got called up. 3 of those hits are homers, as you said. 17 homers in AAA before being called up.
Foltynewicz missed badly with the first 3 pitches. Now a 3-0 count. Got that one over. Mike has seen the Oakland organization before. You can't say he's seen these guys. There's so many new faces on the Oakland team. Mike pitched in relief when he was an Astro back in 2014. The pitch is bounced toward first. Peterson's got it. Is flipped to first in plenty of time. And Folty got to the bag easily. 2 up, 2 down.
Jace playing over there tonight, of course, for Matt Adams, nursing that sore foot. Nice play.
Playing second.
And a good lead.
Lowry.
Mike took a look at the bag after he stepped on it. Hope he didn't land awkwardly. He's taking a little extra time to climb back to the top of the mound as Jed Lowry digs in. He's the A's second baseman. Lowry hitting .287 for the year. 9 homers. And I would think, Joe, with the trading deadline coming up, Lowry's a guy that might draw some interest. We know the A's are always open for business if they can acquire talented, affordable players for the present and the future. rifled back toward us and out of reach. Lowry hitting third on Bob Melvin's Toyota starting lineup. Keep an eye on Chris Davis. He leads their club in homers and RBIs. Rajai Davis, one of the Indians' World Series heroes, is also in the lineup. Davis hitting seventh.
Yeah, I think they open for business somewhere around the first week of April. But just recently, with their record being what it was, they called up a bunch of their kids from AAA, and they've thrown them in the fire. See what they can do.
1-2 pitch is popped up. Dansby drifts out. Ender broke back, but he recovers in time. And that takes care of Lowry and the Athletics at the end of a scoreless first. It's time for our Toyota Tweet of the Week. This week's question is, which Braves player most deserves an All-Star nod? Tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag Braves All-Star, and your tweet could be used in the Braves Live post-game show. And there's more than one choice this year, which has been very refreshing and fun. Yep. And the man leading off the second ought to get some consideration too. That's Matt Kemp. At 10th in the National League at hitting at .309 on the year, 12 homers and 37 driven in. And he had a good rip.
Had a rough spell there in San Diego, just 1 for 12. But that one hit drove in 2 runs. 2 of the 4 the Braves scored the last 2 days.
Chance for Matt to give that hamstring a little extra rest. He's the designated hitter tonight. Atlanta designated hitters so far in interleague play have 6 hits and 2 RBIs.
And that's a vast improvement over the past.
1 ball, 1 strike, bases empty, no score. Kemp didn't think much of that call from Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
About 3 walks per 9 innings for Sonny Gray. He and Maxwell haven't worked together that much, so they're still trying to sort things out. Maxwell's one of those who's called up. Maxwell's out of Harvest, Alabama, and Birmingham Southern. Second round pick. They like him a lot.
Bouncing ball toward third. Healy's got it, loads up, and throws across in time.
You saw the right fielder perhaps in your picture. I'm not sure if he was in frame, but Matt Joyce was hustling over in case that ball was overthrown from third to first, because it's more, this foul territory is more than just having a lot of room to catch foul balls. If it gets by somebody, it'll roll forever, and a lot of room to chase overthrows.
This is one of the last, if not the last, multi-purpose stadiums still in use for two professional franchises. The A's, of course, are here, and for at least one more season, the Oakland Raiders will still play football here at the Oakland Coliseum. And maybe that's the biggest change that I can remember since I've been back here, and that's that gigantic monolith that's out in center field from the left field to right field foul poles. All of that was put in for luxury boxes and extra seating for the Raiders
to get them to come back from LA.
Tyler Flowers, the hitter, didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And this used to be, it used to be open. There was like a walkway and a few bleacher seats and what have you out there, but it was a pretty view of the mountains in the background before they closed it in.
And they're still paying off the debt service for that gigantic structure, we understand, to the tune of about $90 million.
I've had that paid off in no time.
Apparently they call it Mount Davis.
For Al?
For Al Davis, yes. Tyler Flowers didn't get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tyler hitting .333. He's got 6 homers. It's funny when players get dinged up, what teammates' reactions are. There's kind of that gross curiosity that they have when someone has an injury like Tyler had the other night. First, the 2-2 pitch, which is bounced foul at third. We walked back from the game the other night with Kurt Suzuki and said, how was it? He goes to Tyler's arm and he said, oh man, that was gross.
When you went back to the dugout after this, Nick Markakis, 2 or 3 other guys were trying to look over Jeff Porter's shoulder. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, I mean, Brandon Phillips was looking in and laughing too. Not much to smile about other than the fact he wasn't seriously hurt. Little roller again toward third. Friendly hop for Healy. Takes a long time to unload, doesn't he?
He's made 13 errors. He's trying to make sure he doesn't throw one in the seats.
But he's 2 for 2 on his chances defensively. Bases empty for Danny Santana.
Good off-speed pitch already here for Gray in the early going.
Santana, a logical choice to plug into the lineup because he's swung the bat well against Oakland in his career. So Danny's numbers for the season. The pitch. And here are those good head-to-head numbers with Oakland. Our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
.356 average, .542 slugging, 2 for 5 in his career against Sonny Gray.
To short. Tricky hop. And the long throw to first got Santana by a quarter of a step. Franklin Barreto handles his first chance. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta second. No score.
This moment in MLB
As the Braves make their first appearance in Oakland, California since 2003. Sonny Gray and Mike Foltynewicz, two talented right-handers, squaring off tonight. Gray's threw 2 perfect innings. Mike Foltynewicz about to start his 2nd inning, and he'll do it against Chris Davis.
He did a nice job of coming back against Olsen when he fell behind 3-0 to get the 2nd out. What a year he's having.
I'll say 21 homers, 54 RBIs, and as you said, Joe, strikeouts don't matter. 105 of them. So let's see what gives in this matchup. This is the old power versus power sequence in tonight's game. Davis versus Folty.
Chris Davis, a former Brewer, looked pretty good in their lineup right now, wouldn't he? They still had him with all the pop they've got in their lineup.
One ball, one strike. Davis, the designated hitter, didn't get it. And 96 miles an hour. Milwaukee could use some pop tonight. They're losing to the Marlins in the 7th inning. Eric Thames out of the lineup. Needed a mental break. As Folty just struck out Davis, looking his 2nd strikeout of the night. He's retired his first 4, 1 away.
And I'm liking this fastball. Nothing but fastballs to Davis.
So the bases are empty for Ryan Healy, the pride of the University of Oregon. This kid's already got 19 homers.
Yeah, I was just going to ask our fans, how many of you ever heard of Ryan Healy? This guy's 8th in the American League in homers and 50 RBIs. 10 homers his last 25 games.
Player you can build your team around. As he shoots this one toward right center, pretty well hit, but Ender to the track at the 388 mark makes the play. Healy hit it hard, but he's out, number 2.
Well, that bears showing the dimensions here at this ballpark. It's fair down the lines, it's fair to straightaway left and right, but in right field you can see out there's a higher wall that extends right out to where Ender caught that ball at the 388 mark. That's a double-decked wall, so you really got to poke one to get it over that. 400 to straightaway center, and the same thing over on the left side, left field.
This is Bruce Maxwell. He's the catcher that Brian Jordan was raving about on the Braves Live pregame show out of Harvest, Alabama. Played 15 big league games and hitting .341 in them.
Reminds me of Cameron Rupp. Big, strong.
.6'1", 250. 62nd overall pick in 2012. Maxwell became the highest drafted Division III player since Jason Hirsch in 2003. That's Jason Hirsch, H-I-R-S-H. This one's popped toward left. Santana saunters in. He's got it. Mike Foltynewicz has 2 very efficient innings under his belt tonight. 25 pitches, no score after 2.
Nothing, top of the third, and I got to tell you this, I got a lot of friends in baseball, but none in the Fox truck. Why are you showing those numbers? Maybe it was too good at Pitcher's Park for me. I couldn't get the job done. You know who did get the job done? Ron Washington. And when I asked him what this organization meant to him, he praised Billy Beane for giving him his first chance to manage, to coach in the big leagues. He was instrumental in allowing him to be a manager in Texas, put in a great word for him, and finally bringing him back after his short layoff. Ron Washington, one of the best guys in the game, first to the park, last to leave. He's a hero around here, guys. Back to you.
You know what else I heard tonight, Bertie, was that after he got that job in Texas, he was told by Billy Beane, hey, if things don't work out, you always got a job here. So what a luxury for him.
That's right. It's always nice to have somebody believe in you.
And you might recall, some thought it was kind of a lateral move for Ron Washington to come from Oakland to Atlanta. Remember, Ronnie interviewed for the manager's job this past offseason, the job that was eventually retained by Brian Snitker. But Ron wanted to spend a little more time close to his New Orleans home, and Atlanta provided him a perfect opportunity for a different experience in the big leagues. And there's no question that this organization has benefited greatly from the few months that they have had Ron Washington wearing a Braves uniform.
Done a great job at third base, waving those runners in, taking chances, being aggressive, but as important, taking the extra time to work with all these infielders.
Johan Camargo leads off and puts a jolt into that ball, drives it deep toward right. That ball is high off the fence. Camargo on his way to second with those long strides. He's got a stand-up double, and that's the first hit of the game.
I tell you what, Johan can't buy a break. He's crushing some balls high off the wall. He did it in San Diego. Looked like he had his first big league homer. And if it weren't for this double deck fence that we were showing you out there, he'd have another one. Dropped the barrel on a slider down and in.
Peterson.
Oh, missed by a foot.
So that's the first hit of the game. Sixth double for Camargo. Let's see if Jace Peterson can get him over. Jace at 188 on the year, playing first base for Matt Adams tonight. Didn't get it. Strike one.
Short and swing up. Plate Pepper with the right side. First run will mean a lot tonight with these two guys pitching.
Ground ball to first. Jace did his job. Gray covers. Excellent at bat by Jace Peterson. Camargo 90 feet away for Dansby Swanson.
Nicely done. Much appreciated by the team.
Batting in the ninth position, shortstop, number 7, Dansby Swanson.
Dansby now at 223. Vanderbilt bragging rights are on the line in this at bat.
It's true.
Infield comes in for Oakland already. And at the knees, a strike. Major League hitters batting .313 against Gray with runners in scoring position this year. Beauty of this sequence is a fly ball could get you the first run. And a line drive hammered toward left. That's headed for the corner. That's down and up off the fence. It's 1-0 Atlanta as Dansby Swanson doubles home Johan Camargo here in the Atlanta third inning.
That's getting it going.
Now batting, number 11.
Stayed back nicely. Got his hands inside that fastball. And short hopped the wall. 1-0 Atlanta. Great swing. Good job by all three guys at the bottom of the order here. There are those numbers you were mentioning, Chip.
So let's add to the trouble here. Ender struck out his first time up, and Gray missed up and away. To second. Dansby to third. 2 outs for Brandon Phillips.
I know it's the second out of the inning, but it's still got Dansby to third base, and as many errors as these guys make, that's not a bad thing.
No, and with all the foul ground that is here behind home plate and down the lines, any kind of a misplay, any kind of a pass ball, wild pitch, you might steal another run here. So a little more pressure on Maxwell and Sonny Gray. Mentioned Nick Markakis second among active players in interleague play hits. Well, Brandon Phillips is third all time. There's that one slicing out of play to the right. Strike one. Phillips has 219 hits in interleague action. One ball, one strike. And that's going to ricochet around in the lower bowl. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Phillips. Rays have already guaranteed themselves a winning month of June. They're 15-12 so far. This is the last day of June 2017. We play game number 79. 1-2. There's that ball in the dirt. Nice play by Maxwell to save a run. 2-2.
Big as he is, it's got to be a really wild pitch. He and Cameron Rupp got in a wrestling match and tried to choke each other. That need a third hand just to wrap their hands around their neck.
No, Gray doesn't want to get to Nick Markakis here, so Phillips ought to see a pretty good pitch. Full count. Swing and a miss. Phillips drops the bat, lays down the helmet, and that retires the side. A pair of doubles for Atlanta puts the Braves in front, 1-0 in the third. For live Braves baseball, stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Braves home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. A gorgeous day in Northern California. As Rajai Davis pops up the first pitch right to the center of the diamond. Who wants it? It'll be Camargo. And in fair territory, Camargo hauls it in. One pitch, one out in the Oakland third. 1-0. Atlanta has the early lead.
Batting in the eighth position, center fielder, number 38, Jacob Bruckman.
Jacob Bruckman is the Oakland center fielder. He was called up June 9th. A 17th round pick out of Brigham Young.
Several of these guys, these young guys that got called up, got off to good starts. Hit some homers, feeling pretty good about themselves, but now all of a sudden reality is set in.
Well, it doesn't take long for that so-called book to get passed around the rest of the leagues, does it?
No. And he's hitting .242, but he's 10 for his last 50.
Mike missed upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. High hopper hit toward Brandon Phillips. Plenty of time to make the play. He did. And there's the second out.
That'll bring up the pitcher, right?
If we were playing baseball, it would, but we're playing with the DH. This is Franklin Barreto, the #1 ranked prospect in the Oakland organization. Originally signed with the Blue Jays for $1,450,000. When the A's decided to trade eventual MVP Josh Donaldson to Toronto, Barreto was one of the prospects that came back. He's 21 years old.
And they obviously like him a lot. And he was doing a great job at Nashville in AAA. 8 homers, 32 RBIs out of the shortstop spot. But like his new teammates, strikes out a ton. 92 strikeouts and 283 AAA at bats. Just a baby.
This will make you a little queasy. Born on February 27th, 1996. So,
yeah.
The A's started scouting this guy when he was 14 years old, when he played for Venezuela in the Pan Am Games. Might not have the arm to play shortstop every day. Might eventually be a second baseman. Got a kid named Marcus Semien who's an infielder too. And Semien last year was the kid that had all kinds of defensive problems. He was making errors at a furious pace, and he's hurt right now. Yeah, 35 errors for Semien 2 years ago, 21 last year.
One of the sad things that I learned today was all these guys that are getting called up, they're actually having to be taught how to play at this level. You know, the instruction, I'm not casting aspersions on whoever their minor league coaches and managers are, but they're being pushed up to this level already, and they haven't played that much baseball, professional baseball. And a lot of teaching falls on Bob Melvin, the manager, and the coaching staff.
To third. Camargo's got it. And that'll take care of Oakland in order again in the third inning. Mike Foltynewicz, 9 hitters faced, 9 hitters retired, and he leads by a run.
Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
You know, Joe, I don't think I've ever seen Dennis Eckersley look any better.
I don't think so either. What a great likeness. That's awesome.
It's boy, they've had some great players here, haven't they? I mean, we don't see the A's very much, and being on the East Coast, they play their games late at night. We don't really focus too much on what's happening out here in Oakland, and not to give them short shrift, but this has been a great franchise for a long time.
When I look at their retired numbers, there's one number that I can't believe hasn't been retired. And that was Sal Bando. For all he meant to this organization during their heyday, and was the captain of their team.
Back in the 70s, the Athletics won 3 consecutive World Series. They had some tremendous players here. And the Bash brothers, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire and Tony La Russa at the helm here. And just remarkable teams. And this is a franchise that has its roots in the early days of our sport. They were the Philadelphia Athletics, all about Connie Mack. And they moved to Kansas City, and then Charlie Finley bought them and brought them to Oakland. As Nick Markakis fouls one away for a full count.
They've had the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. They've gone through a roller coaster of success, and then the real doldrums after those 3 straight world championships. Free agency came around, and everybody tried to bolt away from Charlie Finley.
And Markakis takes a walk. That starts the Atlanta 4th. Yeah, in the 1970s, Catfish Hunter was a free agent in 1974. Then 1976, an action that really solidified the power of the commissioner's office. Charlie Finley tried to trade Raleigh Fingers and Joe Rudy to Boston and Vida Blue to the Yankees. And Bowie Kuhn, who was then the commissioner at the time, stepped in and said, nope, I'm not going to let you do it. It's not in the best interests of baseball. Well, Charlie Finley sued for $10 million. Because he couldn't afford to keep those guys. Wanted to trade them and get younger, cheaper players. This one's poked toward right. Joyce on the run, makes the catch. His throw back to first will be late. 1 out. And Finley's lawsuit, well, he lost it. It was a restraint of trade lawsuit. And what that did was it really established the power of the commissioner to enforce the best interests of baseball clause from that point until the present day. But they're hopeful of better days ahead. They are supposedly negotiating for one of 3 separate sites for a new ballpark, which has been talked about here for, good Lord, 20 years or more?
Yeah, at least. Boy, do they need it.
Flowers the batter. He bounced out to Healy at third his first time up, and he's going to hit one to short. That ought to be easy. Lowry the turn. It's double play, and Sonny Gray is out of the 4th inning. Down a run. Top of his orders coming up in Game 1 of our series in Oakland. especially when Jacob deGrom pitches. He's on quite a roll. The Mets still try to hang in both the division and the wild card races in National League play. Mike Foltynewicz back to work. First pitch popped up by Joyce into straightaway right field. And Nick Markakis is there. Easy resolutions are always appreciated with Mike on the mound.
And he's beginning his second tour through the batting order. That's always a concern for Mike, a battle for Mike. Hopefully tonight it will be different.
Matt Olson bounced out his first time up with the pitcher covering. And takes a called strike. Olson's 23 years young.
Compensation pick between the first and second round.
Overmatched with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2. This kid had a 37-homer season for Stockton in 2014. 17 home runs last year for Nashville. That one's poked down the right field line and hooking foul and out of play.
Got to be awfully strong and quick to hold your arms that far away from your body and be able to hit at this level. He was late on the swing and miss. Wasn't late on this one. Well, it was a breaking ball, that's why.
Mike's been aggressive. He's thrown strike one to 8 of the last 9 A's hitters. He set down the first 10 in order and leads 1-0. Broken bat popped up. Santana on the run. Got there near the line and behind the A's bullpen. Excellent play. 2 outs.
Good break. Matt Kemp's bad hamstring would not have allowed him to get to this ball.
So Jed Lowry's up. He popped out to center his first and only time up. This is Jed's second go round with the A's. Started his big league career with the Red Sox, went to Houston, Oakland in 2013, back to Houston in 2015, back to Oakland last year. Popped him up. Nick Markakis in right comes charging in. He's there. He's got it. Mike Foltynewicz has set down the first 12 A's in order. 1-0 Atlanta. a moment ago. He'll lead off inning number 5 for the Braves. He's 0 for 1 after grounding out to shortstop. Sonny Gray gave up a run in the 3rd inning. 2 doubles, one by Camargo, one by Swanson, and a called strike.
That's like the swing he had when he hit the ball up into the burger assortment at SunTrust Park.
No balls, 2 strikes. You mentioned the real slow, deliberate coiling and then uncoiling of Gray, and then that fast delivery. Is that problematic for a hitter?
Just timing, but once you see it, then you get used to it. I mean, if he varies that, if he rushes it sometimes and try to quick pitch you, then you might be cooked, but everything's been consistently deliberate.
This guy will be a very intriguing name to keep an eye on with the trade deadline approaching. He's young, he's controllable, he's had big league success. All-star a couple of years ago, last year an injury-plagued year. Popped up, ton of foul ground, but this one 4 rows back behind the A's dugout. 2-2.
With a lot of foul territory means a lot of space between the fans and the action. They're probably farther away here in this stadium than any other.
High hopper hit toward Lowry at second. He's got it. 1 out.
Something else that just dawned on me too with the construction of that monstrosity in center field. It's the first ballpark I can remember where there is not a scoreboard for the game between the foul poles in fair territory.
17, Johan.
They're more like football scoreboards at the top of the stadium in foul territory down the right and left field lines. What you saw there was out of town scoreboards.
Margot shoots one down the left field line. That's headed for the A's pen and out of play, a strike. It's also kind of disconcerting when you come to the ballpark and you walk out. It takes a little while to get your bearings to where you're standing when you're looking out on the field. It just, I can't figure out what's odd about it, but I'm used to standing up.
Just a circle.
Yeah,
no lines.
It's odd. And swing and a miss. We walked out past the Braves locker room, down the stairs to go out to the clubhouse, and then you stand right where Brian Snitker and Kevin Seitz are standing. And then you look out and you see about 17 acres of ground before you get to the foul lines. And everybody on high alert with no screens, as Paul reported, to protect against foul balls. Something else very different about this place. 0-2. Wasted high at 94 miles an hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But I would think if you're a major league pitcher, what a place to pitch. That's hit towards short and speared nicely. Barreto makes the play. Camargo's retired for the first time. 2 outs.
It
is a great place to pitch, but so far in their interleague, the A's have really scuffled. We told you the record's 2-5. That's somewhat of a miracle. Their interleague ERA is the worst in baseball, 8.56 coming into this game tonight. And the highest batting average against as well, 325. Wow.
Strike one to Jace Peterson. If you're just joining us, Jace starting for Matt Adams. His foot still smarting after fouling a ball off his foot in San Diego.
Yeah, it's his back foot. And they're missing their first baseman, Yonder Alonso, who's having a tremendous year. He fouled a ball off his knee on the last road trip.
He was talking about wanting to sign a contract extension, a long-term deal with the A's at the time of his injury. 17-homer man hitting .283. The Braves catching Oakland without him. Don't know if he'll be able to play. Oakland 1-3 this year against the Marlins. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals in interleague play earlier. And they're trailing the Braves 1-0 tonight. That one's back to the mound. Gray's got it. And he'll work a perfect top of the 5th inning. Mike Foltynewicz is back to work with a 1-run lead as we get things started at the Oakland Coliseum tonight.
Strikeout of Chris Davis, his first time up. Power hitting DH. Here's how he got carved up. 96 on the outside corner, 95 on the inside corner, 96 and 96. Thank you very much. All fastballs, gotta like it.
Chris Davis has hit 63 homers since opening day last year. That's more than anybody else in the game. So he's a dangerous man leading off the home 5th. He's got 21 homers this year. And he launched one back out of play, foul, a strike here.
You're talking about the old days and Charlie Finley days. You know, they were the ones that was when the white shoes started. He wanted all his guys to grow mustaches. Jim Hunter didn't have a nickname till he got to Oakland. And Charlie decided since he was from North Carolina he'd be Catfish. that was great. First breaking ball, a beauty to him.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I love their colors too. I know it was wedding gown white, Fort Knox gold, but I can't remember what the green was. Probably had something to do with money.
He was an insurance man, so yeah, pretty good chance. Well, Charlie Finley was eccentric, extremely successful, shall we say. Thought of as rather cheap. but was also very innovative. As that missed outside. Charlie Finley introduced ball girls in his early days here in Oakland, and one of them became very famous, known to just about everybody in America. I'll tell you who that is after the pitch, which is low, and that's the first base runner for the A's. Davis walks to start the 5th inning. One of the ball girls that was hired in the 1970s was a young lady named Debbie Fields. She was very attractive, very personable, and used to bring chocolate chip cookies to the umpires. Well, she turned that chocolate chip business into an empire. That is the Mrs. Fields of chocolate chip cookie fame in the mall. She got her start here in Oakland. Here's Healy, dangerous man, 19 homers, and he takes a strike. So you can say what you want about Raleigh Fingers and Catfish Hunter and Reggie Jackson and Eckersley and Joe Rudy and all that. Debbie Fields is my favorite A.
What about MC Hammer?
No, not bad.
Bad boy, and then later executive with his team. As he was 17 years old.
Yes,
he was the spy.
That's exactly right. he said he was Mr. Finley's eyes and ears, as he liked to call. Stanley Burrell, who later became MC Hammer, and MC Hammer will be in Atlanta August 19th after a game at SunTrust Park. Two quick strikes for Ryan Healy. That's tipped and caught. Fulte heated him upstairs.
He's a little slide step on him too, almost like a quick pitch. A little more of a leg kick there than I first thought. Not quite a slide step. Still work.
Pitch was thrown with a little anger by Fultonevich. His bid for a perfect game ended with the walk to Chris Davis.
If you're playing right field, you're Nick Markakis, you're telling everybody, whoa, the wind's blowing out straight toward right. But if you're in left field, Danny Santana comes in and he says the same thing because the flags are blowing straight out toward left over on that side. I don't even think it's circulating. It's just jetting out into those openings.
Maxwell flying out his first time up. Let's see if Mike can get a ground ball here. Get out of the 5th inning with a 1-0 lead. Up and away.
That green color was Kelly green. Nothing to do with cash.
Huh.
Yeah. Everything had to do with cash to Mr. Finley.
Well, he had that cover with the Fort Knox gold. Two balls, no strikes. Fly ball center. Ender has plenty of room. He makes the grab. 2 out.
Yeah, and so far so good on left-handed hitters too.
They're 0 for 7 in the game, not counting switch hitting Jed Lowry. As Maxwell flies out, here's Davis. He popped out his first time on 1 pitch.
Some hamstring issues early in the season, slowed him down, cut into his playing time.
That's really a shame because speed's such a big part of this man's game still. Last year with the Indians, stole 43 bases and almost single-handedly brought the Indians back in Game 7 of the World Series against the Cubs. One of the great postseason home runs against Aroldis Chapman to tie up Game 7. And drove in a run in the 10th inning to make it an 8-7 ball game, and that was the final for the Cubs in 10 innings. Line drive toward left. Santana got an excellent jump, and he makes the play to retire the side. Mike Foltynewicz issues a walk. He hasn't issued a hit. We go to the 6th. 1-0 Atlanta. Atlanta leads 1-0. The man that drove home the lone run in the game is Dansby Swanson, and he's the man leading off inning number 6 already here in Oakland, California.
Naturally, without the pitcher, somebody's got to bat ninth, and so far the Braves' number 9 hitters. 6 for 24, 3 RBIs. That's not bad, including the one tonight.
And Dansby now 33 runs batted in this year, and 11 doubles. So far, he leads the Battle of Vanderbilt, and this game 1-0. Braves are trying to beat the A's for the 9th time in 13 head-to-head matchups. It has been very rare for Atlanta to face off with Oakland in interleague play. In fact, now that the Braves have played the A's tonight, the only team the Braves have seen less in interleague action is the Cleveland Indians, who Atlanta has squared off with 12 times in National League versus American League action.
And as we said, this is the first time here in 14 years, only the 2nd trip ever here.
Ripped foul to the left side.
That security guard needed to use that chair like a lion tamer. Hide behind it.
He's good. And the A's bullpens let them hear it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With that base hit tonight, Dansby now with 62 of them. That's good for 2nd among National League rookies. Hunter Renfroe of the Padres has the most hits with 64. And the Padres are facing the Dodgers tonight and trailing 4-0 in the 4th. It's Alex Wood pitching for LA. Healy at 3rd, charges, quick release that time, got his man, 1 out. We talked about the Moneyball book and the Moneyball movie and all of that stuff. Say what you will about the Moneyball theories, whether you think it works or not. One thing we know that works is quality starting pitching, and one of the secrets of that A's team was our old pal Tim Hudson, Mark Mulder, and Barry Zito.
Yeah, I'd have put a lot more stock in the movie if they'd talked about the success those three guys had in it.
Well, two of them are here. Mulder and Zito are over in the A's TV booth tonight. We understand it was Barry Zito who lost the last Braves game in Oakland.
Mark Mulder.
No balls and a strike. And Ender behind 0-2.
Andrew Jones had a home run that night. So did Gary Sheffield. And John Smoltz got his 25th save of the year.
Ender went fishing, didn't get it, and he's retired on 3 pitches, and now Gray's starting to hit his stride. He set down 7 straight. Braves have 1 base runner since the start of the 4th inning. That was a walk, and it was erased on a double play. 2 outs now for Brandon Phillips. Giants won again tonight. They beat the Pirates in Pittsburgh 13-5. Giants flying high after they just swept the Colorado Rockies. Rockies are playing Arizona down in Phoenix. That's a 3-2 game in the 5th.
Well, that's a good spot for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are in first place. To have Arizona and Colorado playing each other, you figure to gain ground on somebody while you play the last place team or next to last place team in the Padres. Although, as we saw, San Diego's playing a lot better.
And tonight the Braves have a chance to move up in both races, the wild card and the East. Washington was defeated by St. Louis tonight 8-1. Got the Rockies and Diamondbacks playing each other. Someone's going to lose that game. And the Cubs were already beaten tonight. The Reds shut them out in Cincinnati 5-0. To short. Long throw and a scoop at first. Nicely done by Olsen. There's that arm we were talking about from the young Oakland shortstop. He barely got it to first. Nothing doing in the Atlanta 6th. With America's team at SunTrust Park Wednesday, July 5th, when the Astros are in town. Get grandstand reserved seats for just $7.50. That's a savings of 50% off the gate price. This offer is only available through midnight Sunday, so get your tickets today at braves.com/July 5th.
$7.50. That is tremendous.
Speaking of tremendous, Mike Foltynewicz has thrown 60 pitches through 5 innings and 1 toss here in the 6th inning.
Good hook right there to start it.
Jacob Brugman, the center fielder for the A's, bounced out to Brandon Phillips in the 3rd. Mike set down the first 12 in order, gave up a leadoff walk in the 5th, pitched around that. So he's faced 1 more than the minimum. Barreto and then Joyce on a chilly night in Oakland, California. The delivery is popped up in right field. Pitch to hit, and he popped it up. Brugman's out number 1.
They're getting some good counts, but they're not getting around. They're slow to get around on it.
Number 1, Franklin Barreto.
Here's Franklin Barreto. He bounced out to Johan Camargo his first time up. Barreto 0 for his last 13 and 4 for his last 22 at the plate.
Still got it. Here in the 6th inning, inning 6. There have been times where we've seen in the middle innings that fastball fall off a little bit in velocity. Not tonight. He's been very fresh, very efficient.
That extra rest, one of your forward keys tonight. Has been sharp from the opening bell. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
To overthrow those last 2 fastballs after the swing and miss.
So he got to 2 strikes quickly. Now it's a full count. Matt Joyce is the man on deck. Just did stay alive. Pitch number 71. Nearly hit him inside. It's ball 4. 2nd walk in as many innings for Foltynewicz, and now Joyce is coming up with a man aboard and 1 out.
Not a walk he wanted to lose after being 0-2 on the 9-hole hitter who's 0 for his last 13. Couldn't find the mark.
Now batting right fielder, number 23.
And you got to worry about Joyce. He's a polished major league hitter and a former All-Star. He struck out and he's flying out tonight, and he's got 10 home runs. Joyce also one of their hot hitters, riding a 7-game hitting streak. First time through the order, generally Mike has a reasonably good time. After that, things can get a little shaky. Joyce starts the third trip through the order for the Oakland hitters. Mike about to make his 14th pitch of the inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Barreto starts, then stops. And the pitch danced inside, ball 2. Scarsoni is the A's third base coach. Not only have the A's been shuffling their 25-man roster, they've had to shuffle their coaching staff. Chip Hale was their third base coach. Now he's the bench coach. Mark Kotsay, the former Brave, not with the team. His daughter suffered an eye injury. She was struck with a tennis ball, and he's with her trying to fix that issue. 3-0 count. Strike. 3-1 the count. So we wish the whole Kotsay family and his daughter Sienna all the best. Heaviest workload for Fultonevich. A 1-out walk, now a 3-1 count to Joyce. Did he go? He did not. And the A's have a threat. Back-to-back walks with 1 out.
Started with the 0-2 count. And then when he got to a full count and walked Barreto, you could see Mike talking to himself, shaking his head, upset, knowing that that was, you know, what am I doing walking that guy after being 0-2? And then I really thought against Joyce, he started aiming the ball. Really, you know, taking a lot off 90, 91 miles an hour, just trying to get a strike. See what Brandon Phillips did there? All the infielders came in to give him a hand, you know, help him out, get him going. And when the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, came out, Brandon said a pick. They'd have been proud of him over at the Oracle Center. Is that what it's called? The Oracle Arena? Yeah, right between the umpire and the pitcher, so that he couldn't break up the meeting just yet.
Here's Matt Olson. See if that gets Mike back on the beam here. Olson tapped to first with the pitcher covering. And flied out to left. Fine running catch by Danny Santana back in the 4th inning. First real threat for the A's. 2 on, 1 out. Both runners have reached on walks. Popped up. And not enough room for that one. But Mike's ahead now 0-2.
Yeah, he cut that loose. He's firing it now. And I'm sure Johan Camargo and Jace Peterson were coached and schooled by Ron Washington. Don't give up on any foul pop-up.
No balls, 2 strikes. Short leads by the Athletics runners. The pitch is up and away. 2-2.
You also see Mike with his mechanics, and maybe Paul Bird can address this better than I, but he's fallen off to the first base side. It's almost like he's not driving to the plate like he was, leaving some pitches up and out of the zone.
Had some velocity.
Did you see the difference?
Yep.
In the delivery and how he finished up? Paul, what say you?
No, you're right on. Before that pitch, he was falling off to the left, and it's, you know, that happens a lot. Sometimes you want to get a little ump on the ball and you pull that front shoulder. This last one, look how he stays closed, finishing directly over the mound, and the ball had more oomph on it. So it's one of those things, kind of like a hitter that gets excited and tries to pull and that front shoulder flies open. You got to stay closed and drive the ball straight to home.
Dangerous professional hitter in Jed Lowry now, but Lowry's 0 for 2. 2 on, 2 outs, and Mike ahead of him with a strike. Lowry's been a doubles machine this year, 25 of them in the first half. That's one away from an Oakland record before the All-Star break. Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good swings tonight. Popped them both up to the outfield.
Mean to, it was tipped and caught. There's a break. Now Mike, a strike away from getting out of a 6th inning miss. This will be pitch number 26 of the inning. He had 59 pitches through 5. The 1-2. Nice stop by Flowers. No advance.
Big pitch coming up. 2-2. Doesn't want to go 3-2 and give the runners a head start. Arguably their toughest out. Certainly they're one of their most seasoned hitters.
Joyce at first, Moreno at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He got him. Swing and a miss takes care of Lowry, and that takes care of Oakland. Flowers through to second base, but that was the 3rd out of the inning, Tyler, and the inning is over. Mike pitches around a couple of walks. He has yet to allow a hit. We head to the 7th inning. It's still 1-0 Atlanta.
Hall of Fame race. This is the A's Hall of Famer, Ricky Henderson.
Doesn't it? Call your friends, wake them up. Mike Foltynewicz having a special game in Oakland tonight. Let's see if Atlanta's offense can get to Sonny Gray for a little insurance. Gray hasn't pitched half badly either. He's given up just 2 hits and 1 run. And he's settled in nicely for the A's. He's retired 8 straight. Nick Markakis is the last man to reach with a 4th inning walk.
Love the 2-2 breaking ball to Lowry. And it wasn't on the swing. It was on the call. For the strikeout.
Now it's Nick's turn to foul a ball off his lower extremities. 0-2.
.343 mark away from SunTrust Park. Awesome on base percentage. Missed all the shin guard, all the foot guard, got him on the toe, it looked like. But he'll hit a rope somewhere and it'll feel better.
Maxwell with a nice stop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Be a little distracting for the hitter. It looks like there's some starlings just flitting around the mound. Just as Gray began his windup, those birds were flapping around between the mound and the third base line.
I'm saying Marte won't be back for probably another 3 weeks.
Two balls, 2 strikes. High hopper hit toward Healy. He's got it. High throw and the tag applied by Olsen. Again, the A's defense by and large has been a big problem for them with this young infield. Healy's made 13 errors and he was saved there.
What's up with that sidearm thing? Watch this. Watch his angle. Not over the top at all. Could have gone anywhere. Good thing he had a guy from Parkview at first base to help him out.
Yeah, we already heard from the other guy from Parkview today.
Oh, I'm sure. Was that after the strikeout?
Well, I'm going to read Jeff's exact text.
Oh no.
Quote. No, it's totally fine. One ball, no strikes for Matt Kemp. Jeff said, and I quote, "Only one pride of Parkview." To which I responded, "Jeff Keppinger?" One ball, 1 strike for Matt Kemp. Foul away at the plate. It's 1-2. Mike had to work hard in that 6th inning. Nice to see Sonny Gray have to labor a bit. Let Mike get a little more energy back in that right arm. Going to have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up in the A's 7th. The 1-2 pitch is bounced again to third. Healy's got plenty of time. This throw right on the money, and it's 10 in a row retired by Gray. 2 outs.
Sonny Gray got drafted out of high school. He went to Smyrna High School in Tennessee, which I believe is a suburb of Nashville, and was drafted out of high school by the Cubs in the 27th round and did not sign. Went to Vanderbilt, as you know, and was a first-round pick by the A's. But you have to think that he got drafted late, maybe because he already had his full ride to Vandy, but also because he probably hadn't filled out much yet. Right now he's 5'10", 190. That's what he's listed at. But in high school he could have been a lot lighter, and teams just weren't convinced that he would be able to hold up.
I wish Tim Hudson were here, because I would imagine those were probably similar comments that Tim heard even after he went to Auburn. Tim's not a big 6'4", 230-pound guy either. Went on to have a marvelous career.
Thinks he is.
Yeah. Right.
Pitched like it.
He sure did. The 1-1 pitch. He's taken low. Tyler Flowers, who's 0 for 2.
Braves only have 2 hits. They were spaced properly to get a run in. Double by Camargo, ground ball by Jace Peterson to get him to third, and then another double by Dansby Swanson.
Line to first, right to Olsen, and that retires the side. Well, you said a run early would be very big in this game. It's as big as can be, as the A's are coming up in the home 7th.
Brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Beautiful night in Oakland, California. That tells the story at the 7th inning stretch. Mike Foltynewicz is back to work for Atlanta. Mike has struck out 5 men. He's allowed 3 A's base runners. All 3 of those runners have reached on walks. He's got Davis. He's got Healy. He's got Maxwell coming up with the slimmest of leads, 1-0.
Two of those 3 walks last inning back to back. Pitched around him with 2 strikeouts.
59 pitches through 5 innings for Mike. 27 pitches in the 6th inning alone. There's Chris Davis. Was the first athletic to reach. Mike set down the first 12 men in order. Ground ball. Dansby charges. Got the good hop and flips to first in time. 1 away. Davis leads the A's in homers and RBIs, and he's retired on 2 pitches. That helps. Here's Healy.
Now batting third baseman, number 25, Ryan Healy.
ball, shallow center. On the first pitch, Healy's retired. 2 down.
Good jump by Ender, who threw the ball into the umpire because he knew that they want to change baseballs. But he got a great jump on this little flare off the end of the bat, and he's throwing it in. And hey, where'd you go? That's funny.
Here's Maxwell. He's flied out twice. Ball 1 inside.
That'll be worth keeping an eye on that velocity. 96 at the start of last inning. Back up to 95.
I kind of like it when Mike pitches like this, knowing that he has the 95 or 97 in reserve instead of having the accelerator pedal on the floor with every pitch.
Well, I love the way he started the game. He was pounding the zone with fastballs. He has a good curveball tonight, but he wasn't overusing it.
And there's the 97.
And it went up and away, and he fell off to the first base side.
Can use a quick inning. He's about to make his 8th pitch in the 7th. Here it is. And it's tipped and caught. Mike Foltynewicz is through 7 innings with a 1-0 lead. His effort tonight is one of our big stories. With the other, let's join Kelsey Wingert in our Atlanta studios. In the 3rd inning to score the game's only run. Mike Foltynewicz has allowed 3 A's base runners. He has struck out 6 and looks for a little more offensive cushion as we go to inning number 8.
Braves have made only 1 fly ball out tonight, and that was a line drive by Matt Kemp to right field.
A bunt try with a bare hand. Gray with a pretty play takes care of Santana.
Yeah, baby.
And he's set down 12 straight.
It's a good idea. If he'd just pushed it a little more toward the 3rd base line, he'd have been in business. Even with Healy in on the grass, that would have been a tough play on Danny. Nice bare hand by Sonny Gray.
So the crowd of 19,286 admired that effort as Gray faces Johan Camargo, who tallied the first hit of the game. A leadoff double in the third that just missed going out off that high wall in right center field.
Two-seamer that he just, it's not a changeup at 89, a two-seamer that he can run down and away, a real good sinker, hard sinker, but not his best fastball.
Fly ball to right. Joyce broke back, now in a couple of steps. He's there. 13 up, 13 down for Gray. 2 outs in the Atlanta 8th. Jace Peterson's the batter.
Number 8, Jace Peterson.
Jace has bounced to the right side twice. And action begins in the Oakland bullpen as Gray's approaching 100 pitches. Boy, he's pitched a great game too tonight.
I'm telling you, 2 hits. All his pitches, but everything works off his fastball. Sean Doolittle, left-hander, begins to loosen.
To second, Lowry throws across his body and makes the play. 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta 8th. Bottom part of the order up for Oakland, 1-0. In the 8th inning, and he got just what he wanted last inning, an 8-pitch 7th.
Well, he started off the ball game by retiring the first 12 in a row, and that included a couple of strikeouts, a couple of good plays by his defense to read some balls off the bat. But since then, he's walked 3, he struck out 6 overall, and pitching a doozy.
Rajai Davis leads off. He's 0 for 2. That's down and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
stretch his right shoulder to kind of tightened up in the dugout because he pulled both of those really wide to the left side. Good pitch.
Didn't get it though. 3 balls, no strikes. And a 4-pitch walk puts Davis aboard. He represents the tying run.
Davis wasn't sure about that one.
So I'm sure Tyler Flowers is talking about those pitches to Corey Blazer. Chuck Hernandez is going to call the Braves bullpen. They're going to start to work. It's a 1-0 game in the 8th. Here's Brugman. 4 walks for Fultonevich.
He's expecting Brugman to bunt.
Just to see if he'd tip his hand, they throw to first.
Rajai Davis 9 out of 13 in stolen bases. But again, has been nursing a bad hammy.
Oakland only has 8 sacrifice bunts all year. There's a strike at the knees. Freeman and Vizcaíno loosening in the Atlanta pen. Fouled away. It's 0-2.
Very late. I don't know if he was trying to take a pitch at someone on the left side with Camargo playing in, try to shoot it that way, but that was almost what it looked like. He was so hardy. And again, his mechanics getting away from him a little bit out of the stretch. Talk with himself.
He wanted to slam that rosin bag down, didn't he?
Yeah. As Paul said a minute ago, when he's driving to the plate, keeping everything centered down the front slope of the mound, that's even when he has a little more hop on his fastball.
A 1-2. Very late swing. Most pitches Mike has thrown in a game this year is 108. He's had to make some high stress pitches the last couple of innings. Far enough. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So when he dropped the curveball on Lowry, that ended the 6th.
Oh, what a save by Chase Peterson. If he doesn't catch that, Davis is probably at third base.
No way to back this up. Great save, almost picked off Mike Aldretti.
So another 3-2 count. This one to Jacob Brugman. Will Davis be running? Let's find out. He leads. He goes. Pitches. Strike 3. Throw to second is short hopped and saved by Swanson. So Davis steals second. Brugman strikes out. The tying run in scoring position for Oakland with one man down. And now Bob Melvin's going to go to his bench.
Boy, they had it too. They had Davis, who did not have a big lead. He was trying not to draw attention to himself, knowing he was going. If Tyler could just get the throw there on the fly, they had him.
So Yonder Alonso's going to grab a bat. He's going to hit for Barreto. Remember, Alonso fouled the ball off his leg against the White Sox. And he's one of their best hitters. He's going to try to get this game tied.
And another left-handed hitter.
Alonso 0 for 2 this year as a pinch hitter. Pickoff play, just back safely. Missed him by that much.
Like he got back in there. Dansby was trying to give Brant Snicker some time to check with the clubhouse. Gary Pendleton doing the checking.
We've seen Brandon Phillips on a play like that drop his knee right in front of the bag. Dansby tried to do that, it looked like, but just missed getting the knee in front of the hand. Good try, though. As Fulte goes to the stretch, his pitch to Alonso is right-foot foul. Steve Reich out of play. 0-1.
Good low ball hitter. Typically a good fastball hitter. But coming off the bench on a chilly night, trying to catch up to mid-90s.
Oh, 2.
Good off-speed pitch. Maybe left it up a little bit, but got away with it. Now, if you want to heat one up, you know, about shoulder high, be a good time to try it.
Davis at second. No balls, 2 strikes. He heated him up and struck him out. 2 outs in the 8th inning. 8 strikeouts for Fultonevich.
High target. That's where they went, and that's where they got it. Well done. If you throw that pitch out like over toward the right-handed batter's box, he's not going to offer, but right up, elevated right above home plate, man, that's tough to lay off. Well executed. Great job.
So here's Matt Joyce. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike inside corner. Joyce trying to influence that call. He jackknifed out of the way.
95. He needs this to be a quick at bat. If he's going to take this to the 9th, he needs to do it with as few pitches remaining in this inning as possible.
Fly ball left. Santana's got it. And Fultonevich takes his magical night to the 9th inning. It's 1-0 Atlanta after 8. T-Mobile. Here's the happenings down in the minor leagues. Chris Medlin, 6 2/3 innings, a 4-run ball tonight. Ozzie Albies, 2 for 4. Freddie Freeman's going to play his first game on a rehab tomorrow night for Gwinnett in Charlotte. Mike Soroka suffered a rare loss, only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. But Ronald Acuna, Joe, just continues to have a remarkable first half for the Mississippi Braves.
And they're both going to represent the Braves on the World Team in the Futures game.
Number 7, Dansby.
So there's the story. Sonny Gray is out of the game for Oakland after 8 innings of brilliant baseball. He set down the final 14 men he faced. Sean Doolittle is going to replace him in the 9th inning. He's got Dansby Swanson, the man with the lone RBI tonight. Doolittle missed low, ball 1.
There's Adam Rosales, who checks in at shortstop. Doolittle, mostly fastballs. He's got a slider, a rare change, fastballs mid-90s.
That's pop up, headed for the stands out of play. Doolittle's an amazing story. He was converted from first base to a pitcher in 2011 and made the All-Star team 3 years later.
That's quite a climb.
Yep. Converted in 2011, got to the big leagues in 2012, and pitched in 44 games that year for Oakland. Two balls, 1 strike. Ripped over the screen, out of play, foul. He's had some good cuts tonight.
He has, and he's been staying back a little better tonight. He's been quick. Boy, the ball he turned on that drove in the only run of the ball game was a good fastball in on him. Hack at that. They wanted to take him upstairs and didn't get it up enough.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Dansby starts the 9th. Turns on that baby and hammers it down the left field line, but it's fouled. We'll do it again.
Again, really quick in there. If you give your hands a chance to work, they're a lot quicker than you think they are.
Way outside, it's a full count.
97 on that pitch.
Good start to the inning. Dansby draws a walk. Braves country, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take it wherever you go. Presented by Nissan. So here's Ender Inciarte. Ender is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He pushed a bunt toward third. They're going to go to second. It's going to be in time. The ball was dropped, but Swanson's forced out. Healy with a heck of a play to feed Rosales. Dansby's going to stand at second base. The Braves are going to challenge and make sure that control of the ball was maintained by Rosales on the play. Let's see.
Ender really bunted the ball hard, and he bunted it, well, at least in slow motion. It looks like he had it plenty of time. But bunted it to third rather than to first.
So Swanson's forced out at second. Inciarte takes first with one out for Brandon Phillips, who's 0 for 3. In for a strike. Runner goes. Pitch a strike. No chance at all for Maxwell to make a throw. And Ender has a big stolen base, his 11th.
One on his first move. Got a little rocking motion going too. No chance at all for Maxwell. That's a big run in the big scheme of things.
Now Doolittle wants a new set of signs. That almost got Ron Washington.
Oh, he's a quick feet though.
You know who's giving him the most grief? It's Brandon Phillips.
Maxwell went out and talked to him after Ender stole second, so they would have the signs together about what kind of sequence they were going to use with a runner at second. And I'm still having trouble. Sonny Gray was terrific tonight.
Was he ever? 8 innings of 2-hit, 1-run ball. He set down the last 14 Braves in order. In fact, he retired 9 of the first 11 he faced, and the final 14. That will up his value, to be certain. 0-2 pitch. Driven toward right. Joyce on the run. Not going to get it. Here comes a runner around third. Throw to the plate. Up the line. Phillips to second. He is safe. 2-0 Atlanta. RBI hit for Phillips. Second on the throw. And the Braves add an insurance run in the 9th.
That was a really good at bat. He fought off a couple of tough pitches. In this one, he just threw the bat at it and hit it to Joyce, who's got a very good arm. Good jump by Ender. but the throw certainly not in time. And Brandon was going to try to make him cut it off to try to get him. They didn't get that either.
Now batting, number 22, Nick Markakis.
Big run.
'29th RBI for Phillips. Here's Markakis. 2-0 now. Atlanta the lead. 2-0 on 3 hits. And a strike. Up the middle. Nice pick. And Markakis will be retired. Runner to third. Rosales handled that hot shot cleanly.
And were he not trying to hold Phillips close at second base, he wouldn't have made that play.
Now batting, number 27.
I'd pay $100 to hear that conversation. I think we know what it is. So here's Matt Kemp, runner at third. Righty versus lefty. Kemp 0 for 3 in the game. Fastball. 2 balls and a strike. A leadoff walk, a forced play, a steal, and a Phillips single extends the lead in the 9th.
And that leadoff walk was only the second he's issued all year. 16 appearances, 14 2/3 innings. He had issued 1 walk and 22 strikeouts.
Up, long run, and that'll hop on the grass and just out of reach of the fans down the first base line. Pop into shallow right. Joyce can't get that. It's 3-0. Matt Kemp with a bloop single.
Gotta love it. Thing of beauty.
And if you follow the Braves all summer long, you will know one thing, that this team has done some of its best work in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of their games this year. And tonight, no different. 2 huge runs, part of a 16-minute long top of the 9th inning.
Which is of a little concern when your starting pitcher's still in the ball game to have a long inning
Number 25.
on a chilly night.
So a quick chat by Scott Emerson, the pitching coach. This is Mike Foltynewicz's game now. 3-0 lead. Most pitches Mike has thrown this year. 112. Excuse me, in his career, 112. Pop fly foul. Oakland's bullpen has begun to work again. Daniel Coulombe, 27-year-old lefty, is starting to warm up. There's a strike. It's 1-2. Two in the ninth for Atlanta. The pitch. Now it's even.
He's touching Doolittle for these two big runs, two huge runs, and he hadn't given up runs since he came back from the DL in early June.
Popped up to second. Lowry drifts back. He's under it. He's got it. And now, call your friends, wake them up. Mike Foltynewicz chases history as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's Atlanta now 3-0 in front. Ninth inning. Mike Foltynewicz will face the 2, 3, 4 hitters on the Oakland lineup card.
Long rest during the top of the ninth inning. He hustled out there pretty quick to start throwing, get as many pitches in as he could to be ready to start the inning. 110 pitches. As Jim told you, that's a season high.
So Matt Olson, the first baseman for Oakland, leads things off. Olson is 0 for 3. He struck out last time up. Braves have a big shift on for him. Camargo in shallow right. First pitch. It stayed high, 1-0. Ball 2.
Back curveballs to start, and that one looked like a good one. That was just a get over curve. playing Britney Spears between innings. Oh baby, baby. That's kind of the way I felt on that one. It looked like it was going off the end of the bat with a shift on.
Two balls and a strike. Rip foul past first. What a stop. And protected Jim Johnson. Now Mike's battled back to a 2-2 count. Long run for Dansby, but no chance.
Still some life. 95 miles an hour. I mean, at this stage, when you got a shift on for a guy, you're just hoping that scouting report is right.
Yeah. The 2-2 pitch. Oh. Wow.
Take it off.
Payoff pitch for Matt Olson. Lined. We'll do it again.
He's trying to be careful there in this regard. Calls for a breaking ball, and he was trying to make sure he threw it good enough for a strike and didn't have much on the break. And that's why he got a good swing on it. Not doing that again.
Olson's geared up for the heat. Fought it off. Again, the 3-2 pitch. High fly ball, hammered right field. Markakis will watch it sail out of the ballpark. The no-hitter gone, the shutout gone, but the lead still intact. And that homer does nothing to diminish the magnificent performance of Mike Foltynewicz in Oakland tonight.
What is it about first baseman breaking up no-hitters for the Braves? Remember Shelby Miller down in Miami and Justin Bour? Great game. Again, those runs in the top of the inning, huge.
Look at this crowd in Oakland standing and cheering Mike Foltynewicz as he heads for the dugout and a tip of the cap. Way to go, kid. Great night. Mike Foltynewicz was absolutely brilliant tonight. He chased history, trying to become the first Brave since Kent Merker to throw a no-hitter. And after he gave up the home run and came out, a handshake And words of praise from his manager, Brian Snitker.
And look at him right in the eye. Yeah. I know he's disappointed, but a grin there from whatever Brian said to him. That was great.
So now you got to concentrate on winning the game. It's a 2-run lead. Jim Johnson is on now to face Jed Lowry with nobody out in the ninth. And he strokes one to left. Santana playing in. That's over his head and up against the wall. And Jed Lowry's on his way to second. And the A's are in business. Runner in scoring position. Nobody out.
There's that double to tie their team record for most doubles before the All-Star break.
A record held by Bobby Crosby and Joe Rudy. Now Jed Lowry also with 26 doubles before the break. And here's Chris Davis. You know all about Davis and his home run power. He represents now the tying run in the game. Pop fly out of play. Davis 0 for 2 with a walk. That's shaved off the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First out of the inning.
Count went to 3-2 on Olsen.
Now batting third baseman.
He fouled off a fastball in on his hands a little bit. Rattled around in the catcher and the umpire. This one looked like it moved back to the middle of the plate a little bit. And Olsen out of Parkview put a good swing on it.
And kid from Parkview parked one. Long run for the A's. 1 of 2 hits. 1 away. And here's Ryan Healy. Can't sleep on this guy. He's got 19 homers. But 8 hits in his last 48 at-bats. That ball off the plate.
Big hook right over the top. Jim picked up a save on this road trip. First game at San Diego. An inning, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts.
Tipped off Tyler Flowers. Johnson a strike away from earning his second out of the 9th inning. Boy, you're right, Joe. Those 2 9th inning runs are ginormous for Atlanta tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. It was smothered, 2-2.
It was. Smothered and covered. Nice play right off the chest protector.
He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jim Johnson. And now the Braves are an out away from a series opening win.
Now batting, the catcher, number 13.
Nicely done. Those last two breaking pitches were not strikes. He couldn't lay off.
So here's Maxwell, the Oakland catcher, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Got ahead of him.
Good fastball too at 94, but it was at the letters.
If they win tonight, will gain ground on the Nationals. Looks like they'll gain ground on Arizona. Gain ground on the Cubs. Pitch. Did he go? Yes, sir. Now Atlanta's a strike away.
He's had a terrific breaking ball tonight.
Strike 3, and that's your ball game. Jim Johnson nails it down for Mike Foltynewicz, and the Braves beat Oakland by a final score of 3-1. Mike Foltynewicz has won 6 of his last 7 decisions, 8 innings of no-hit ball until Matt Olson hit a 9th inning homer, and Atlanta knocks off the A's to even the record on the road trip at 2 wins and 2 losses. Joe, what a night for the electric arm of Mike Foltynewicz tonight.
Fun to watch. He had an excellent fastball. He had control of his emotions. Just couldn't quite muster it up for 3 more outs.
But the Braves knock off the Oakland A's. Our first trip back here at 14.